Welcome to Insulite Health, where we empower women with PCOS to transform their lives. You can find us at insulitehealth.com. You're watching The Weekly Tip with Robin Nielsen, Chief Wellness Officer.
Hey, I'm Robin Nielsen. Welcome to Weekly Tips. Let's do some cooking this week. You know, we're so blessed because we get to feast 3 times a day, and that's where the yum comes in. But first, I want to talk a little bit about carbohydrates, since that's what seems to be so confusing with PCOS. Inflammation is the foundation of the symptoms, and inflammation is often caused by higher than normal levels of insulin over time. That's why a diet low in sugar and carbohydrates can work miracles, because it can take our cells as little as 3 days to become more insulin sensitive. We've included a handout below this video of all the awesome carbohydrates that we call the low or slow carbohydrates that will help you to lower inflammation to feel better, much better. So today let's make a super simple soup with some beautiful carbohydrates that I have on hand. What's beautiful about cooking is that you don't always need a recipe and you don't always need to go to the grocery store. So here, let me show you what I mean. So I have on hand some beautiful spaghetti squash because I made some spaghetti noodles earlier. So I have half of a spaghetti squash left. I have some zucchini left over that makes a wonderful soup. I've got some yellow onion. This is actually a yellow onion. Or a hybrid actually, and then I have some canned pumpkin. I kind of like to use some sweet potato or some yam, although that's a little bit more medium carbohydrate, but I don't have that. But I do have canned pumpkin, and pumpkin is a low or slow carb. So we're going to use that. And then I have a little bit of ginger for some spice and yum that we're going to put in there. And one of my favorite kitchen tools is this hand grater that I just love. It's so fantastic. You actually just hold it and grate, and it just comes all right here, and then you can slide your finger to put it right into whatever you're making. So I highly suggest that you pick up one of these. Really awesome tool. All right, so I've also got some vegetable broth. My favorite is the Imagine brand, and I always get the low sodium so that I can use sea salt and season it myself. So we're going to use some of this, and we're going to use some water, because I like to use equal parts vegetable broth to water. And then I'll use a little bit of sea salt. I've got that right over here to season it. Okay, I keep it in this little container here. All right, so what I do to start is I'll actually put some of this in my blender because I just blend it up. So it makes it really simple. And it's always easier to blend when you have liquid in your blender. So I'll just put a little bit of the liquid in the blender. Then I'm going to throw in, I'm just actually going to quarter the onion. And I'm going to chunk up the zucchini and throw it in there. I'll just throw a little bit in to start, and then I'll do this again. So, okay. Plug your ears for a second because it's kind of loud. Oh, awesome. Then we have this amazingly, beautiful broth that we're making. So I poured into my big pot here. And now I'm going to put in a little bit more vegetable broth because I'm going to finish blending up these beautiful vegetables. So I'm going to finish chunking up my zucchini. Throwing that in there, and then I'm going to put the pumpkin in. It's going to make it really rich and creamy. I just got some of this organic pumpkin. So you can use fresh pumpkin, you can just bake it and then scoop it out and put it in, or you can buy canned. But we're trying to save time, right? So we can make our meals fresh, but make them at home. These are just things that I had on hand that will make a beautiful soup. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in there so I can blend it up. So I'm just going to scoop this spaghetti squash right into the blender. Because I want it all blended up so it's a nice, creamy, smooth soup. And remember, whatever you have on hand, so maybe you have some cauliflower, maybe you have some broccoli, and keep in mind that when you cook, it's all in the seasoning anyway, so you can put any of these beautiful low, slow carbs in your recipe. All right, so I'm going to turn this back on now. Remember to cover your ears. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Can you see that? See how gorgeous and thick and beautifully colored that is? All that rich, vibrant color means there are a lot of amazing vitamins and minerals in there. Okay, so now I'm going to pour it in here. So fantastic. And I'm going to turn the oven on. I'm going to start it cooking, just blend it up a little bit. Wow. Smells so good. All right, now I'm going to add a little sea salt. So maybe a teaspoon or so to start, and then you'll want to taste it later and add more if you need it. But start with just a little bit at the beginning. And then you'll take your amazing little grater and your ginger, and you'll just grate some ginger in there. Remember, ginger's a little bit spicy. It's really anti-inflammatory. It's antimicrobial, meaning it gets rid of the bad bugs in your gut. So it's really an awesome superfood. And then you can just scoop it right on in there. Remember, it's kind of spicy, so do that to taste too. You can start with a small amount and then add more later if you need it. Okay. And I'm just going to stir this up and I'm going to cook it. I'll cook it so that it starts to come to a little bit of a boil, and then I'll turn it down to low and cover it and cook it for maybe 20 minutes, and then it's ready to eat. So you just need to add a little bit of protein to this. So you can have a little bit of chicken or fish or something like that on the side, or you can throw it in the soup if you'd like. Then I chop up a little bit of parsley and put it on top so it looks really super pretty. And that's it. You have a beautiful, delicious, amazing meal, and as long as it takes to cook. So it took us about 5 minutes to whip that up, about 20 minutes to cook it, and then we get to eat it. So your to-do this week is to make a very simple soup. As we come into fall and winter, soups are so important to nourish our bodies. You can use what I used, the 1 yellow onion, the zucchini, the canned pumpkin, the vegetable broth. I used the spaghetti squash, some grated ginger with sea salt, or experiment with what you have on hand. The seasoning is the secret. Let us know what you come up with on our Facebook page. We're here to support you, and I'll see you next week.
As always, the best discussions happen after the episode over at insulitehealth.com. Head on over there now and leave a comment. Did you like this video? If so, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with all of your friends who you think might benefit. And if you want even more great resources, plus some insights from Robin that she only talks about in email, come on over to insulitehealth.com and grab your free PCOS Diet Success Jumpstart Guide to get regular email updates. We'll see you next week.